Hey guys, Trav here with Ideal Cars, and today we're going to talk a little bit about why your first Tesla should be a used Model S, not a new Model 3. In today's market, you'd think the smaller, simpler Model 3 would be Tesla's most affordable sedan. But for first-time Tesla buyers, buying a brand new Model 3 might just be a costly mistake. In fact, for 91% of Tesla owners, this is the most expensive car they've ever purchased. And since this is most likely the most expensive car you've ever considered purchasing, we wanted to take you through our approach to buying your first Tesla and get you into the EV game. Just over 92% of Tesla owners say they'd buy another Tesla in the future. So keep in mind that we're pretty sure this first Tesla won't be your last. With that, we're first going to cover some of the pros and cons of a used Model S versus a new Model 3. Then, we'll dig a little deeper into things like motors, interior features, size, and usable cabin space. Lastly, we'll price shop a used Model S versus a new Model 3 and discover which model best fits the bill for your first Tesla. So without further ado, let's get started. Now first, I wanted to outline the pros and cons of each. Let's start with the Model S. The Model S has longer, lower, sleeker exterior styling than the Model 3, and some would argue that it looks substantially better. It has a heads-up display system. It's also a heavier car, which makes it better for long distances because it's more sure-footed and it's a little bit quieter going down the road. You can go out and buy one of these today, unlike the Model 3 where you might be waiting 6 months to a year to get your hands on one. Finally, the Model S has unlimited lifetime supercharging. That's right. Plug your car into any Tesla supercharger and you'll be able to have free fuel. As for the negatives, it's got shorter range than the long-range equipped Model 3. It's a heavier car. We've got this listed as a pro and a con because while it makes the car feel more luxurious, it also makes for less nimble handling and longer stopping distances. Although we're splitting hairs here. It's not a small car by any stretch of the imagination, which makes it tougher to park or drive in the city, and it's got no enhanced Autopilot features unless you buy a late 2016 model year or newer, in which case there will be zero cost savings over the Model 3. So there's the pros and cons of the Model S. But what about the Model 3? As for pros, it's a brand new car with all brand new technology. In long range, guys, it has significantly longer range than a used Model S. It's got enhanced Autopilot and has some really cool features the original Autopilot doesn't. It's a lighter car, which means it's a little more agile with shorter stopping distances, and it's smaller. It's easier to park and drive in the city. Now on to the cons. As a Model Year 1 car, it's far more likely to have reliability issues over the Model S. Exterior styling is good, but not Model S good. The super minimalist controls may be a little too minimalist. And lack of a heads-up display seems a bit odd. It's got slower acceleration, and while enhanced Autopilot has more features than original Autopilot, allegedly, it's not quite as refined just yet. You don't get any unlimited supercharging, or any free charging for that matter, and you can't option it with all-wheel drive yet. It's coming though. Okay, so as you can see, each have their advantages and disadvantages. Now let's dig in and see how the Model 3 is pushing the technological envelope for electric vehicles, which is something in the long term we're all going to benefit from. New for the Model 3 are the use of permanent magnet motors in place of the induction motors that were used on the Model S. Permanent magnet motors have recently drastically dropped in cost and are much lighter and more efficient to make, making them superior to the larger and heavier, less efficient induction motors found in the Model S. These new motors are only going to get less and less expensive to make, and in turn, so will electric vehicles themselves. There's a rear-facing camera built into the rearview mirror on the Model 3 that will most likely be used for facial recognition for Autopilot and driver profiles. As you may know, Tesla's keen on building out a ride-sharing network, and one day, this camera's most likely going to help monitor the activities that go on inside your car should you decide to rent it out as an autonomous taxi and maybe earn some revenue passively. Fingers crossed that this is something that comes to fruition. The Model 3's infotainment computer is now liquid-cooled and sports a faster processor, all resulting in a more responsive touchscreen. It's closer now to a giant iPad than ever. They've upgraded the media control unit with an Intel SoC chip versus the NVIDIA Tegra that was present in the Model S. Plus, Because the Model 3 has such minimalist interior design with a completely flat dashboard, outward visibility has been greatly improved. Now obviously the Model 3 is more like a BMW 3 Series, where the Model S is closer to a BMW 5 Series, but I still thought it was worth noting the actual size differences. The Model 3 is 11 inches shorter and only about an inch less wide than the Model S, with the mirrors tucked in. The Model 3 does have about an inch and a half more headroom in the front and almost 2.5 inches more headroom in the back, and both have roughly the same front and rear legroom. So to sum it all up, the Model 3 is roughly a foot shorter than its big brother, and with its minimalist interior, the inside feels bigger than the Model S. As we can see, the Model 3 is a step into the future of electric vehicles, featuring all the latest and greatest technological advances. But with that, let's not forget that when the Model S, or even the Model X for that matter, first hit the market, they had some definitive issues that needed to be sorted. So most likely, the same will be the case for the Model 3.
Now, Trav, I know you probably covered the bases and whatnot, but we need to figure out if we should buy a used Model S or a brand new Model 3. And I think the way to do that is to fire this thing up, look at the interwebs, look at things like depreciation values and smart stuff like that, and kind of figure this out together. So let's take a look at this.
Hey guys, welcome to my computer, and today we're going to go through a couple of tools that we dig into in depth in the Ideal Car Strategies. If this is something that you're interested in, we teach people how to look at depreciation values and ultimately time the market correctly to drive cars for free or even make money on them. I'll show you at the end how you can sign up for more information. But the things that we use, one is baked into Car Gurus that we love, which is the price trends. Now this is depreciation values, and you can see here I have it pulled up for a Model S, and it's a 2-year running depreciation. Down here you can see the different models. I have a 13 through 16 selected, and year over year how much they're depreciating. You can see that the 15 is depreciating the most, and the 14 is depreciating the least year over year. And so as you can see, if you were to buy a brand new 16 Model S in 2 years, it's worth 105, it's worth 75. So you can see how much you'd be losing. That'd be $30,000. If we were to get a 13 in the same amount of time at 66, you'd be losing $25,000, so less over the course of that 2-year ownership. Now, if you take this and we look at a, let's say, 6-month, I like to see if and you can see here, it's pretty flat. It is still going down, but it's not too bad. And again, that 14 is kind of the winner because it's depreciating less than any of the others. Given these are just prices based off of the average for listing price, but it gives us a good idea of what the market is bearing. Now, so we have this information. Now we want to look at another tool that we use, eBay Motors. And the thing about eBay Motors that's great is that it shows sold listings, so actual hard data on what a car sold for. So we're going to start with the Model 3 first. You can see I searched. There's 18 results here. And we're going to go down here and look at completed listings. So these are cars that both sold and went unsold in the auction. Dun, 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 dun. And here you can see the completed listings. There's 73 of them. We're sorting by highest price first. And as we go down, okay, Model X, that doesn't, there we go. The first one, $82,000. Now, we know that the Model 3, there's a $35,000 one. So I'm thinking that that's probably what most people will be looking for to get into their first Tesla. What's nice is that you know that 92% of people that buy their first Tesla are looking to buy another one later down the road. And so when we're looking at these, they go from 82 all the way down to, what's the cheapest one that's sold? All right, let's go to page 2. 50s, and then 10,000. So the cheapest one that sold was 55,995. It's a 17. It looks like it's used. Yep, mileage 500, and it was picked up at the end of last year. So that's the cheapest one that has actually sold with hard data. Now let's look at a Model S, and because let's say we're going to keep it like 40-ish, $35,000, I think the ballpark is going to be around a 13 to 2014 used Tesla. So we'll search those, highest price, and you can see a dual motor one went for 84. And as we start going down here, you can see in the high 40s, a lot of them. And as you can see, there's a lot of options there. And so we can see that these are ranging quite a bit. Now, the nice thing about the 2013 and 14 is that they came out with the P85 Plus. So if you're not looking for the dual motors and all-wheel drive, the P85 Plus, if you put them into our ideal car strategies, that car actually is one that you could buy, drive for 6 to 18 months, and sell and pretty much get all the money back out. Now, the P85, the Plus, was a $10,000 option, as 21-inch wheels, more horsepower, and some other doodads. And that car, if you were to buy it today for low 40s or hopefully high 30s, you'd be able to, in 12 to 18 months, get out of it for roughly what you had in it. And so here at Ideal Cars, we're always looking to get into something and either drive it for free or even make money on it. If you were to get a brand new Model 3, you're most likely going to pay a premium right now. You're not going to have it right away unless you do pay a very high premium. And on top of that, you're going to lose money on it. The P85 Plus is such a good car, and you can get into one for the 40s or high 30s, and then you'd be able to get out of it and make money most likely, or at least break even. On top of that, you kind of look at it as your introduction to Tesla. You learn what you have to have features on your Model 3 when you order it versus ones that you could live without. So you don't order a car now and then wish you would have ordered different options later. So that's what we would do. We would get a 2013 or 14 P85 Plus. What are your thoughts? Would you guys get a used Tesla Model S, like a P85 Plus, or would you go for a brand new Model 3 as your first Tesla? Please let us know. If you're interested in learning more about our strategies that we've built, you can go over to idealcars.tv, and then as you can see here on the left side, you can sign up and you'll get more information about it. But we teach people how to negotiate, how to get the best deal on the coolest cars, and like I said, either break even or make money on them. So hopefully this was a big help. Again, in the comments, let us know, would you get a used Model S right now, or would you get a brand new Model 3? Look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Well, there you have it, folks. We've built an entire online curriculum that teaches viewers like yourselves how to use technology to break down the research, purchase, post-purchase, and selling of cars in a way that's never been done before. Head over to idealcars.tv, enter your email address, and sign up to learn more. Link in the description.
And always, thanks for watching. Please smash that like button and subscribe. Love you guys.